The following is a class on Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter number 7, text number 14, given by His Grace Sriman Sankarshan Das Adhikari, recorded on May 12th, 2008, in Sofia, Bulgaria.
So tonight we are reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita, chapter number 7, text number 14. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Daivihiyesha gunamayi Mama Maya Dorajyaya Mameva ye prapadyante Mayam me tang tarantite. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. This divine energy of mine, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Purport. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. Although the living entities are part of his energies and are therefore divine, due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered. Being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. As previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination by the inferior nature of matter, their illusion is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Baddha, or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Consequently, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy, because material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. The Vedas confirm this as follows: Mayam tu praktim vidyan mahinam tu maheshvaram. Although Maya illusion is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshvara, the supreme controller. Shvetashvatara Upanishad 4:10. Another meaning of guna is rope. It is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the ropes of illusion. A man bound by the hands and feet cannot free himself. He must be held by a person who is unbound. Because the bound cannot help the bound, the rescuer must be liberated. Therefore, only Lord Krishna, or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, can release the conditioned soul. Without such superior help, one cannot be freed from the bondage of material nature. Devotional service or Krishna consciousness can help one gain such release. Krishna, being the Lord of illusory energy, can order this insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. He orders this release out of his causeless mercy on the surrendered soul and out of his paternal affection for the living entity who is originally a beloved son of the Lord. Therefore, surrender under the lotus feet of the Lord is the only means to get free from the clutches of the stringent material nature. The words Mam Eva are also significant. Mam means unto Krishna, Vishnu only, and not to Shiva or Brahma, the child to stay with the parents, not just wandering here and there. This little boy should be with his parents. It's not a romper room. They should be sitting and hearing. Parents should train them to hear. Although Brahma and Shiva are greatly elevated and are almost on the level of Vishnu, it is not possible for such incarnations of Rajaguna passion and Tamaguna ignorance to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. In other words, both Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya, and therefore he alone can give release to the conditioned soul. The Vedas, Svetashvatara Upanishad 3.8, confirm this in the phrase, Tam eva viditva, or, freedom is possible only by understanding Krishna. Even Lord Shiva affirms that liberation can be achieved only by the mercy of Vishnu. Lord Shiva says, Mukti pradata sarvesham Vishnu eva nasangshayah. There is no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer of liberation for everyone. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sangrajatam Sagana Raghunatan Vidam Dam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Vrijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha. So, it's not easy to get out of the clutches of Maya. Because Maya is an energy of Krishna. And Krishna is all-powerful. If one is in the grips of Maya, it's a very precarious position. Very, very difficult situation. Therefore, one needs the mercy of Krishna and the mercy of the pure devotee to become released from the prison of material existence. The good news is this, as Srila Prabhupada is explaining, Krishna is the affectionate father of all living entities. So he is very prone to want to release us from this entanglement. We just have to demonstrate that we're worthy of being released. Not that we'll come back to spiritual world and tried to become God again, you see. We originally left the spiritual world because of our desire to be God. There's no room for competition in the spiritual world. If one wants to compete and be another Krishna, then you will immediately find yourself here in this material world. So we want to qualify to go back to that sweet transcendental existence. We have to be completely free from the tendency to lord it over. Instead of trying to be Lord, we have to be servant. But it's difficult for us to do that. We've been in this mood of lording it over since time immemorial. We've been here so long in this material existence. We cannot even measure how many years, how many lifetimes we've been here. Therefore, we are called Nitya Baddha, eternally conditioned. But by the grace of Guru and the grace of Krishna, that Nitya Baddha, he can become Nitya Siddha, liberated so. So somehow we have to get that mercy of Guru and Krishna. It's not by our own endeavor that doing by some mystic yoga or by building some rocket ship that we can go to Goloka. We depend on Krishna to deliver us. So how much we have to qualify ourselves for that special mercy of Krishna. We have to convince him that we're very serious, that we're not going to budge from our determination to be surrendered to him. Not that I chant Hare Krishna for a few years, get initiated, and then go back to Maya. We have to give this whole life in Krishna consciousness. In spite of whatever disturbances the mind may have, you see, we have to be very determined to stay in this Krishna consciousness. Yata dipa nivatasto nengate sopamasmrita yogino yatatittasya yunjito yogamatmanaha. You know the translation? As a lamp in a windless place does not waver, so the transcendentalist, whose mind is fixed in Krishna consciousness, you see. Does not waver in his determination. He remains always fixed in the transcendent self, Krishna. So we have to be like that, unflinching. No matter what may come, we will not give up our determination to be the devotee of Krishna. Nothing can break our determination. Just like those devotees during the Soviet era in Russia. Nothing could break their determination. Even being tortured by the KGB. Nothing could break their determination. To be dedicated to Prabhupada's mission. To be dedicated to serving Krishna. So, this is called Dridha Vrata. Fixed determination. In this connection, we should remember the example of, that we have many times given, the example of the little sparrow. Do you all know the story of the little sparrow? Yes, you know? No, you don't know? Okay. It's a little sparrow. She was very unhappy. The ocean stole her eggs. By the psychophysical nature, the mother is very, very attached to her children. It is nature's way so that she will take good care of them. So, when the ocean stole her eggs, she was extremely distraught. She asked the ocean, "You give back my eggs, please give back my eggs." The ocean just laughed, ha ha ha. The ocean staunchly refused, "No, I will not give your eggs back." So what the little sparrow can do? She made the decision, "I will dry up this ocean." So she would take her little sparrow's mouth and she would go down to the ocean. She would take some drops of water in the mouth and she would run back to the land and she would deposit the ocean water on the dry land. You see? And she'd run back down to the water, a few more drops, and back to the land, like that. Boop, like that, back and forth. Then I will dry up this ocean. Everyone was laughing, "Oh, this stupid little bird. She will run herself to death, but she'll never dry up the ocean." They were laughing and making fun. But do you know who is the king of the birds? His name is Garuda. And when he heard how they were torturing his little sister, you see, in Vedic culture, the women are always protected. When he heard how they were harassing his little sister, he became very angry. And you know that Garuda, he has great mystic powers. He is the carrier of Lord Vishnu. He's full of mystic powers. So he came there in a very angry mood. "They are harassing my little sister." He came swooping in. And he told that ocean, "You better give those eggs back right now, or I will just dry you up by my mystic power." And that ocean got really scared and returned the eggs. "All right, take them back. Don't dry me up. Please don't dry me up. Here, take the eggs back." So we have to always remember that determination of the little sparrow, you see.
Затова ние винаги трябва да помним решителността на това малко врабче.
Against all odds,
Срещу всякакви неблагоприятни условия.
she was going to give her whole life to try to get those eggs back, you see.
Срещу никой не вярвал, че тя ще се опита да си върне яйцата.
Is it possible for a little sparrow to dry up the ocean?
Възможно ли едно малко врабче да си върне?
By ordinary calculation, of course not. It's this ridiculous idea. How it could be happened. How it could happen.
Възможно ли това да стане? Едно малко врабче пресуши океана. Това не е разумно.
But by the grace of Garuda,
По милостта на Гаруда,
it was possible.
то станало възможно.
You understand?
Разбирате ли?
So, by the grace of Krishna,
Така по милостта на Кришна
by the grace of Guru,
и по милостта на
that impossible thing that I can become a pure devotee,
невъзможното, аз да стана чист преданно отдаден,
that becomes possible.
това става възможно.
On one condition and one condition only.
Само при едно единствено условие.
And what is that condition?
И какво е това условие?
You have to be as determined as that little sparrow.
Вие трябва да бъдете толкова решителни, колкото малкото врабче.
If you're flaky, you know that word, flaky? Yeah, so, whimsical.
Ако сте колеблив,
If you're not fixed in your determination,
ако не сте установени в решителността си,
you see, you're not going to get the mercy.
няма да получите милостта.
As a little sparrow, it's out there thinking, well, should I try to dry up the ocean or should I just forget about the eggs?
Малкото врабче не е така, че седнал да си мисли дали да пресушавам океана или просто да забравя за яйцата.
She wouldn't have made the attempt.
Ако беше така, си мисля, нямаше изобщо да се опитва.
And Garuda would have never come.
И Гаруда нямаше никога да й помогне.
It's only because she made that endeavor against impossible odds that Garuda came to rescue her.
Само защото тя направила това усилие, което изглеждало, че е невъзможно, само по тази причина Гаруда й се притекал на помощ.
Therefore, if we want that special mercy of Krishna, of Guru and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we must make that endeavor against all odds that I will become a pure devotee.
Затова, ако искаме специалната милост на Кришна, на Гуру и на Чайтания Махапрабху, трябва да направим това специално усилие.
I will do whatever it takes to become a pure devotee.
Да направим всичко, което ни е по силите да станем чисти преданни.
I don't care what I have to. I'm willing to accept things that I don't want to accept.
Аз мога да приема, съм готов да приема неща, които по принцип не искам да приемам.
And I'm willing to give up things that I do not want to give up.
И съм готов да изоставя неща, които не искам да изоставя.
That dedication is required.
Ето такова посвещаване, отдаване се изисква.
If you say, well, I'm willing to give up some things, but not everything.
Ако кажете, искам да изоставя някои неща, но не всичко.
I'm willing to do some things, but not all things for Krishna.
Готов съм да направя някои неща, но не и всичко за Кришна.
Then I had to inform you, you do not qualify for the special mercy that will get you out of this material existence.
Трябва да ви информирам, да ви кажа, че по този начин не се квалифицирате за специалната милост, която ще ви изведе от това материално същество.
Because you're putting a condition on your relationship with Krishna.
Защото вие поставяте условие в връзката ви с Кришна.
You have to be unconditional,
Не трябва да поставяте никакви условия.
without any restriction. With Krishna, whatever you want, that's all.
Без никакви ограничения. Каквото Кришна пожелае.
I'll do whatever you want me to do, and I'll give up whatever you want me to give up. I'm not attached to anything except pleasing you.
Аз ще направя всичко, което ти, Кришна, искаш да направя и всичко, което ми кажеш да направя, ще го изоставя само за да те удовлетворя.
Do you understand these points?
Разбирате ли това, което казвам?
This is serious business.
Става просто за нещо сериозно.
We all like to sit around and laugh and joke and have a good time. That's a fact. We all like to sit around and laugh and joke and have a good time. That's a fact.
Всички ние обичаме да се събираме, да се прекараме добре, да се смеем през цялото време. Това е факт.
but will sit around and laughing and joking help you at the time of death to enter the transcendental kingdom?
Но мислите ли, че това забавление ще ви помогне в мига на смъртта да влезете в царството на Бога?
No, it won't. You have to be serious.
Няма да ви помогне. Трябва да сте сериозни.
You have to be fixed in your determination.
И установени в решителността си.
That I have no master except for Krishna.
Аз нямам друг господар освен Кришна.
And my duty is simply to please Him for all of eternity with my every thought, every word, and every deed.
Мой дълг е да удовлетворя Кришна за цяла вечност със всяка моя дума, мисъл.
If you have this determination, then you are already situated in the spiritual existence.
Ако ви само имате тази решителност, вие вече сте установени в
You will not have to wait for death to become liberated.
духовното съществуване. Няма да се наложи да чакате смъртта, за да получите освобождение.
Because you will already be liberated in your present body.
Защото вие вече ще бъдете освободени в настоящото си тяло.
So I can ask now if there's any questions.
Неврити. Освобождаване от привързаност. Има свят. Значи, може би. Много зависи това, може би, защото всеки иска да се освободи от привързаности, от анархията. Но има едно, може би. От кого зависи? Защото това е условие. Ние не поставяме условия, но има условие, което е поставено.
There is this stage, anartha nivriti, freeing ourselves from attachments, to free ourselves from attachments. And but he says maybe we'll be freed. On whom it depends.
On who does it on who does it depend to become free from attachments? It's up to you. What is your desire? Man proposes and God disposes. You think Krishna is going to force you to give up your material desires if you're attached to them? No, he doesn't want to upset you. If you're attached to the material energy, he'll facilitate you with another body. He's been facilitating you for millions of lifetimes because you had material desires. He'll continue to do them. If you remain attached to material sense gratification, he'll give you a body. If you're attached to intoxication, he'll give you the body of an ant. So you can get intoxicated on sugar. You see? Whatever you want, Krishna will give you. Therefore, you should make your only desire to be surrendered to Krishna. That should be your only desire. You must kick out all other desires. There's no need to try to get intoxicated in this world. Take this supreme intoxication of Krishna consciousness, and you will stay high forever. No more coming down. Any other questions? Question? Yeah. I'm Manjari.
отречение и смирение. Can you clarify for us what is the meaning of renunciation and humility?
Renunciation and
Humility.
Limitation and humility.
humility.
No, renunciation and humility.
And renunciation and humility?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, renunciation means not that you give up this world.
Отречение не означава да изоставиш света.
Renunciation means to engage this world in the service of Krishna.
Означава да ангажираш света в служене на Кришна.
Just like we're using this microphone, you see. Our renunciation is to use the modern technology microphone in Krishna's service.
Нашето отречение е да използваме този микрофон с съвременна технология в служене на Кришна.
Renunciation means to use everything in Krishna's service. That is renunciation.
Това означава отречение, всичко да се използва в служенето на Кришна.
And humility means that you offer all respect to others without expecting any respect for yourself in return. That is humility.
А истинско смирение означава да отдаваш цялата си почит на другите, без да очакваш тяхната почит в замяна.
Next question.
Неговия въпрос е как да се съсредоточаваш внимателно, когато матруваш. His question is how to concentrate attentively while chanting.
Yes. The way to concentrate attentively while chanting is this. You have to always remember that Krishna and his name are one and the same.
Начинът е следният. Трябва винаги да помниш, че Кришна и неговото име не се различават.
If you were to personally meet Krishna in some solitary place, would you pay attention to Krishna or would your mind be distracted somewhere else?
Ако ти трябваше да се срещнеш с Кришна в уединено място, дали щеше да
Just like now you're talking with me,
както в момента ти говориш с мен,
and I can see you're completely focused on this conversation, this question and answer that we are having. You're fully focused in that.
и аз мога да видя, че ти в момента си напълно концентриран в разговора, който тече между нас.
So if you can be this focused on associating with me,
Ако може да си толкова фокусиран, докато общуваш с мен,
just imagine how focused you would be if you had a face-to-face meeting with Krishna.
представи си колко по-концентриран щеше да си около лице в лице се срещнеш с Кришна.
And then remember that actually you are having a face-to-face meeting with Krishna every time you purely chant his name.
И тогава помни, че винаги, когато чисто възпяваш светото име, ти имаш действително се срещаш лице в лице.
So if you remind yourself like this, you will naturally be fully attentive when you chant.
И ако си припомнеш тези неща, ти естествено ще бъдеш напълно внимателен, докато мантруваш.
Now if you will apply these words of instruction I have given you, you will see it is correct.
И сега, ако ти приложиш тези думи, тази инструкция, която ти дадох, ти сам ще се убедиш, че е вярно.
Yeah. Next question. Yeah.
Когато строят моста на Ланка, има една мравка. И всички се подиграват. Защото Рамачандра казва, тази мравка може толкова. Тя прави всичко, на което е способна. Има е лошо да си мравка в верните на Бог Рамачандра.
In the pastimes of Lord Ramachandra, when they were building the bridge, there is the example of the small, I don't know,
Spider
the spider, yeah, who was
throwing the dust in the ocean.
Yes. So, but they were also making fun of him.
Yeah, Hanuman was making fun.
Hanuman was making fun, but Lord Ramachandra appreciated that he's giving his best to his.
He appreciated it, yes.
He appreciated. So, is it bad to be a spider in the army of Lord Ramachandra?
whatever you are, you do that perfectly, that's all. If you're a Hanuman, then you do the work of Hanuman. If you're a spider, whatever your position is, you see, you act according to your own nature. Shayan swadharma vigana, you see. Paradharmat svanushtita. Shadavan, what is it? Shayan swadharma vigana paradharmat svanushtita svabhava niyatang karma kurvan napnati kirbisham. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, text number 47. You can study that verse. It is better to act according to one's own prescribed nature, even though you may do it imperfectly. To accept another's position and do it perfectly. So whatever your nature is, whatever your proclivity is, you engage that fully in Krishna's service to the best of your ability. If you're a Hanuman, then you do your Hanuman duty to the best of your ability. If you're a spider, you do your spider duty to the best of your ability. Don't try to imitate. Don't be a Hanuman and try to imitate a spider, or don't be a spider and try to imitate a Hanuman. According to your prescribed nature, given by Krishna, you engage that as to the best of your ability in Krishna's service, that's all. Yeah, give a gist of it.
Значи, накратко, каквато и природа да имаш, според естествените си склонности, ангажирай това изцяло в служение на Кришна, независимо дали като Хануман или като пайка. Не се опитвай обаче, ако си Хануман, да действаш като пайка или обратното. И просто, както се казва в този стих, 18 глава, 47 стих, който той каза да изучаваш, по-добре е човек да изпълнява предписаните си задължения, по този начин да постигне съвършенство, отколкото да приеме работата на някой друг и не извършва съвършено.
Next question, yeah.
А Кришна, освен любов и положителни сили, притежава ли и негативни сили страни? Аз нямам понятие това.
She's asking, she doesn't know whether Krishna has, besides the positive sides and love, does he also have a negative side and negative?
Yeah. That is the material nature. So you have a choice. Which side of Krishna do you want? You want his positive side or his negative side? Do you want to see Krishna face to face or you want to see his back? Either way, you will be in contact with Krishna. If you're his devotee, you will see Krishna face to face. And if you're envious, he'll turn and put his back to you, the material nature. So you will get what you want. You'll either get the face of Krishna or you'll get the back of Krishna. And either way you will get Krishna. But which side do you want? If you went to see your friend and he turned his back to you, what would you feel like? Would you feel very happy? No. So, you have to qualify that Krishna will see you face to face. To those who are envious, he turns his back. So don't be envious of Krishna. You become completely surrendered devotee of Krishna. And then you will see his smiling face at every minute. Next question.
Как може, въпреки духовно извисяване, говорите Кришна, той да допуска в себе си отново тази материална част, тези негативни последици.
How it is possible that despite his, meaning Krishna's, despite Krishna's spiritual elevation, how is it?
His what?
His elevation, his
Yeah.
spiritual elevation. How is it possible that he will keep this negative material side within him?
How would he have it? How is it possible that Krishna would have a material side?
Yeah, despite his spiritual
His magnanimity and all that? His kindness, you mean?
no, his negative side.
Why would he have a negative side if he's so full of love?
Why would he keep it? Why would he keep his negative side despite his spiritual elevation? That's the concept.
Actually, Krishna is not trying to make a negative side. He's not trying to do that.
Всъщност Кришна не се опитва да има негативна страна.
Krishna is giving positive energy all the time. He's giving pure love to every living entity all the time.
През цялото време той излъчва чиста любов към всяко едно живо същество. Винаги.
But by our own envy, you see, by our envy of Krishna, then we experience the negative energy of Krishna. That's our doing, not his doing.
Но понеже ние му завиждаме, заради нашата завист, ние изпитваме тази негативна енергия. И ние сме причината, не е той.
Does the government round up people to throw them in the prison?
Да не би правителството насила да вкарва хората в затвора, просто да ги събира така.
No, if people disobey the law, then by their disobedience of the law, they put themselves in the prison.
Не, когато хората нарушат закона, заради това, че не му се подчиняват, те сами всъщност вкарват себе си в затвора.
So that negativity is actually our creation because we do not agree to live in harmony with God. That is our creation actually, not his.
Така че тази негативност всъщност е наше творение.
So we should not try to blame Krishna for being negative.
Затова не трябва да се опитваме да обвиняваме Кришна за това, че е негативен.
He is purely positive.
Той е чисто позитивен.
But we create negative by our own ignorance.
Ние създаваме тази негативност със своето собствено невежество.
Krishna doesn't turn his back to anyone.
Кришна не е загърбил никого.
But we foolishly go around to the back. That's our doing, not his doing.
Ние глупаво заобикаляме и отиваме зад гърба му. Това ние го правим, не той.
That clarifies it. Krishna never turns his back. We go around to the back.
Кришна никога не обръща гръб, ние минаваме зад гърба му.
So now we have to come back to the front.
И сега ние трябва да се върнем отпред.
Srila Prabhupada is showing us how to do that.
И Шрила Прабхупад ни показва как да го направим.
Are you willing to follow Prabhupada's instructions?
Имаш ли желание да следваш
Come back to the front.
на Прабхупад и да се върнеш отпред?
Very good. Are you chanting 16 rounds?
Мъдруваш 16 кръга.
How many do you chant every day?
Колко кръга мъдруваш всеки ден?
I don't know.
Nothing fixed. No fixed amount.
Нямаш определен брой кръга.
All right. So now, my request to you is this. You bring yourself back to the front side of Krishna by, you have Japamala?
Имаш ли поредница?
No. So you ask the devotees to get some Japamala and you begin chanting every day on the beach. This will bring you around to the front of Krishna, where you can see Krishna at every minute. Will you do that? You'll get some beads and start chanting? Thank you very much. Here, take this garland. Get this. So, next question. Everybody satisfied now? We stop? Okay.
В процеса на мантруването, след като завършим определен брой кръгове, имаше такава тенденция да казваме Панчататва Маха мантра и след това да почнем следващия кръг. Но от лекции, които съм слушал, се казва, че Шрила Прабхупада никога не го е правил това. Кое е правилното фактически?
We used to have the tendency to, while chanting between the rounds, to say the Panchatattva Maha Mantra, but he has heard that Srila Prabhupada actually never did this. What is the proper way?
It's not required, but if you like to do it, it's very nice. We never heard Prabhupada do it. That's a fact.
Вярно е, че не сме чули Шрила Прабхупада да го прави, т.е. не се изисква, но
It's not some requirement that you have to do that.
това не е нещо задължително, което трябва да се прави.
But if you feel inspired to do it, then do it. It's very nice.
Но ако се чувстваш вдъхновен, прави го, това е много хубаво.
This is not the International Society for Rules and Regulations.
Това не е Международното общество за правила и предписания.
This is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Това е Международно общество за Кришна съзнание.
If by doing that you feel your Krishna consciousness increasing, then you should do that.
Ако чувстваш, че твоето Кришна съзнание се увеличава по този начин, трябва да го правиш.
But don't think because you're doing it now, everybody else has to do it.
Но не си мисли, че понеже ти го правиш,
You understand?
сега и всички останали ще трябва да го правят.
Don't try to make it a policy for every devotee in the movement. And because I do it, now you have to do it too.
Не си мисли, че понеже ти го правиш, това и всички преамодани в движението и те трябва да следват.
That's what's called lording it over mentality in the name of Krishna consciousness.
Това се нарича точно този менталитет, господстване в името на Кришна
It
съзнание.
inspires you, you do that.
Ако ти си вдъхновен, прави го.
It's very good.
Това е много добре.
Yeah. Next question.
Можеш да се концентрираш върху едно служение?
How to make oneself concentrated on one service.
One service?
Yeah, when you're doing one service, how to concentrate.
When you're doing a service, you mean?
Yes.
The thing is, you may have to do many services during the day, whatever your authority, whatever your guru or your authority instructs. He may tell you to do 20 services during the day.
Някой може да ти каже, нали, твой авторитет или твой гуру
The point is, whatever service you're doing, do it first class.
да вършиш примерно всеки ден по 20 служения, но
If you love someone, will you give them 10th class service?
идеята е да прави всичко, което правиш, каквото и служение, да е първа класа.
If you love someone, don't you want to please them?
Например, ако обичаш някой, ти не искаш да го удовлетвориш.
Don't you want to do it in the most first class way if you love someone?
Няма ли да искаш да го направиш по най-добрия начин, първа класа?
So if you love Krishna, you will naturally try to do every service that you do for him very first class.
Затова, ако ти обичаш Кришна, по естествен начин ще се опиташ всяко служение, което вършиш, да е първа класа.
Next question.
Други въпроси?
Is everybody satisfied now?
Всички ли са удовлетворени?
Моето е въпрос. Нали Санкаршан прави утре пътува за Газ и Варна. Но има възможност, ако ние всички се помолим утре сутринта в 2 лекции от 6:30 до 7:30 и веднага от лекцията да тръгне за летище. Кой ще дойде от присъстващите утре, за да го молим? И имате ли възможност да дойдете?
He's saying that tomorrow morning before you leave to the airport, if there are devotees who will come, you may want to give a class before your departure. So he's asking how many of them.
See, what time do we have to leave for the airport?
Колко часа трябва да тръгнем на летището?
8 без 20. След посрещане.
After greeting the deities.
Oh, that's a little late. I mean, the greetings at 7:30. Supposed to be at the airport at 7:30. Supposed to be at the airport at 8 o'clock.
местата не са...
I don't think we can stay for Guru Puja. No.
Няма да може толкова.
The car has to be packed and ready to go before the class begins.
Колата трябва да е, преди да почне лекцията, трябва колата да е натварена.
And then we can just end straight at 7:30. 7:30, we straight away leave and go straight to the airport. Is the traffic bad at that time of the day?
No, it's okay.
That's the thing. What about the traffic? Rush hour traffic.
It's no problem with the traffic.
No problem. That worries me.
I mean, it's...
No problem means big problem sometimes. What do you think, Davey? You're my practical side. What do you think? Morning rush hour traffic?
It depends. Are we going out of town or are we coming in?
We're going out to the airport.
The airport is out of town.
He has a side way that goes not through the city. The back route he
We don't
takes.
go to the city. We
No,
just...
I got here. 15 minutes.
We don't go through the downtown. He has a route that goes, skirts around.
By darshan, then you can just have the short darshan and then you can go. Before the class, the car has to be loaded.
Yeah, the car has to be loaded before class. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, if there's no further questions, we can stop here.
Ако няма други въпроси, може да спрем.
We thank you all very much.
Благодарим много.
Raja Vijay Srimad Bhagavan Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Шива Санкаршана Прабhu ки
Jai.